Hello, my dear students. Welcome to my class. I, Dr. Swati Pandya, welcomes you. We are continuing the chapter 2, Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. And today's topic will be the detail about seeds. What do you mean by seed? How can we describe it? In all the angiospermic plants, the seed is the final product of sexual reproduction. The whole of the chapter we have learned in detail, and now the final product is a seed, development of seed. So it can also be described as fertilized ovule. And seeds are always found inside the fruits. Now here the two different type of seeds you have learned in 11th standard earlier about the structure of seeds. So basically seed consists of seed coat, cotyledon and embryo axis. If cotyledon is considered, on the basis of cotyledons, two type of seeds are found: monocotyledonous seed and dicotyledonous seed. Dicotyledonous seed, the examples are bean or pulses seeds, and monocotyledonous seeds, the examples are maize or any of the grains. What is the difference between the two seeds? Today we will learn new term regarding these two type of seeds: albuminous and non-albuminous seeds. What is the difference? Let us see. Here the two pictures they are given, and both are showing different type of endospermic part. Here in the maize seed, the endosperm comprising of maximum part, almost 2/3 part of the seed, and upper seed the endosperm is very less as compared to other parts. Here the cotyledon is also comprising inside the seed. So what do you mean by non-albuminous seeds? Non-albuminous seeds have no residual endosperm. That means leftover endosperm is not present. It is totally used up because it is completely consumed during embryo development. So embryo development requires energy, and this energy that is taken from the reserve food material, and reserve food material that is stored in the form of endosperm. So here if the whole of the endosperm that is used up by the developing embryo, just like in a pea or groundnut seeds, then it is known as non-albuminous seeds. While albuminous seeds, it will be opposite concept. Albuminous seeds will retain a part of endosperm. As we can see in this maize seed, this is the endospermic part, this much. So it will be retained, and it is not completely used up during embryo development. So there are so many examples: wheat, maize, barley, castor, etc. Let us know one of the another term. It is given perisperm. What do you mean by perisperm? Many of the exceptions are always there in living world. So this is one of the exceptional example. In some of the seeds such as black pepper, जिसको हम काली मरी बोलते हैं, and beet, the remnants of nucellus are also persistent. So this residual persistent nucellus is known as perisperm. This is an important term to be remembered. Next slide is showing certain characteristic features regarding seeds. As the seed it matures, its water content is totally reduced and seed becomes relatively dry. So dry seeds are there because all the water content is used up, and it is used up about 10 to 15% moisture by mass. So dry seeds are more viable and they can retain for longer period of time. Even the general metabolic activity of embryo also slows down. The embryo may enter a state of inactivity, and another term which is used, that is known as dormancy. So all these highlighted terms, they are important to remember, to be remembered. So dormancy, another term. Or if favorable conditions they are available, what are the favorable conditions? They are adequate amount of moisture, adequate amount of oxygen, and suitable temperature, then they will germinate. The monsoon season is the most favorable condition for every type of seed to be germinated, because it comprises of adequate moisture, oxygen, and suitable temperature, and other factors which are favorable for growing of seed. Another term now we will come to know, that is pericarp. I think you remember this term. This also you have learned in your 11th standard while you were studying about the seed in detail. Pericarp is also known as the wall of ovary, and it develops into wall of fruit later on. After the fertilization is completed, then it is converted into the fruit wall. So this term is also important to remember. Now let us discuss about fruit. All these concepts, they are 11th based, and these concepts are totally revision based. So we are revising all these topics which we have already done. Let us discuss about fruit. In most of the plants, by the time the fruit develops from the ovary, and the other floral parts, they degenerate and fall off. But however, in some of the few species, just like apple, strawberry, cashew, some other parts, they develop fruit. So here it is given, the pictures are given, and here the thalamus, it contributes for fruit formation. This is the best example which we learn in apple. You can see here in the picture this part that shows the seed, and the white part which we consume as a food, as in fruit. This is thalamus, which is edible part. So this is the transfer section. Next diagram is showing the transfer section, and all the fruit layers, they are described here. Endocarp, mesocarp, these are the fruit wall. They are the parts of pericarp, and thalamus is the edible part. So this thalamus comprises of fruit. That's why it is known as false fruit. So it is not the original part which is converted into fruit. Similarly, in strawberry also, the thalamus, that is the edible part. So both are covered into false fruit. Then what do you mean by true fruit? Most of the plants, as we all know, the fruit develops from the ovary, and other floral parts, they degenerate and fall off. This is the natural process. This is mostly acceptable process. So after fertilization, all the other parts which are not required, they fall off, and the fruit develops only from the ovary. So that type of fruit is known as true fruit. This topic you have already learned earlier in your 11th standard in more detail. Now, another exceptional example of fruit. Here the term is given parthenocarpic fruit. Actually, a process is known as parthenocarpy. What do you mean by parthenocarpy? Let us see. Parthenocarpy can be defined as it is induced through the application of growth hormones, and the fruits which are developed, they are seedless. And what will happen here during parthenocarpy? The fruits will develop without fertilization. So this is an exceptional example. So those fruits which develop from without fertilization, they are included as parthenocarpic fruit. The best example is banana. We are using banana many times, but we don't know this type of exceptional example which is included in parthenocarpic fruit. Another such example is including orchid fruit, and this is one of the such category in which fruit contain thousands of tiny seeds. Even So these two pictures they are showing, this is orchid fruit. Here inside these black dots which you are able to observe, they are nothing but tiny seeds which they develop. Even the example of kiwi, then this is fig. So all these examples they are showing, uh, these are exceptional examples which are found in our living world. So this much topic we will learn today, and this is a very simple topic. Mostly example based topics are there, and I hope you loved this topic. This is a very easy one. So only after once you are revising this topic, you can remember it easily. So today we end this session here. So stay home, stay safe, revise the topics, do right in your classwork. Tomorrow we will meet with the next session, and most probably we will be ending the chapter. So please revise all the topics again and again. The terms are very important. Okay? Till then, goodbye, students.